Happy Spiritual Sunday to you all. We know that, as we'll talk about, this is the beginning of the cosmic cycle. The energy cycle for all humanity has begun a few weeks ago on the first day of Libra. We're almost finished with the month of Libra, and we've had quite a few amazing events, cosmic events, to help us push the new year, push the light, if you will, or infuse light into this new year for all humanity. One thing that I constantly remind myself and remind you all is that there's only one soul. There's only one spiritual being on this entire planet. So even though we appear to be in 8 billion different bodies, we're on a spiritual internet that's affecting every single human being every single day. All of us impacting each other. So what we're doing here in the Kabbalah Center is we're learning how to use the tools that we've been given, the power that we've been given, to impact the 8 billion other bodies on earth with the light of the Creator. And we'll get into it here in just a few moments. We start with our affirmation. I want to make sure you can see it. We are infusing our consciousness with a reminder, awakening another level of awareness, consciousness, to live our life in a more spiritual way, a more illuminated way, a more light-filled way that's going to bring us greater joy, peace, and happiness. So, let me make sure it's there. Okay. There we go, maybe like that. So let's say it together. Consciousness is everything. I raise my consciousness today to see the miracles and wonders of life. I commit myself to behave with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. And as we just mentioned, it's a very self-empowering affirmation. When we behave with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings, we're reminding ourselves that every person out there is literally a reflection of ourselves. And this is one of the keys to keep in mind, which is going to transform not only you and me individually, but the world collectively. When more people on earth can truly realize, not just intellectually, but from their heart, from their soul, that every other person out there is an extension of themselves, then we're going to treat each other very differently. So let's just get started. Since it is the new energy cycle for all humanity from the cosmos, I want to just briefly remind us why we came here to Earth. What did we leave the endless world for? And it was one simple thing. We came to Earth to make a copy of what we experienced in the endless world, what we experienced in the world before creation, before the Big Bang. And what was that? Simple. There was a heaven, we experienced a sense of infinite light and eternal bliss. We came down here to put out, if you will, the greatest product, the best product we are capable of, which is what? Perfect human beings in a perfect world that, as the Bible in its coded way tells us, is called the Garden of Eden. So we came into this world, into the Garden of Eden, so we would remember what we had experienced in the endless world. Then came our opportunity to exert, to express our free will, to make a copy of that, if you will, to make it manifest in this world, or not. And so came our choice. And as we were thinking about coming to this world to act like the Creator and manifest that mini heaven, endless world, by heaven on earth, the Garden of Eden, we remind ourselves that we came here just to produce a paradise. the replica of above in this world, but now using the power of the Creator that was given to us in the endless world. We are not of our own power. We have the ability to use the power that the Creator implanted in us. And as we came into this world and separated, if you will, or extended into 8 billion bodies, that is part of our free will. The ability to decide in every moment of our life, are those other people, are they separate and distinct from me, or are they extensions of my soul, that which the Creator implanted in each of us? So that was our only purpose in this world, to emulate the Creator. Our purpose, the objective, was not to have families, jobs, cars, houses, vacations, things like that. It was also, our objective was not to have chaos. We may have created chaos, but our objective was not to have chaos. It was to have eternal bliss by manifesting the power the Creator put in us, acting, as we affirm, with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. Now, in order to leave the endless world, even in our own mind, we had to put up a curtain. And those of you who've taken Kabbalah 1 and 2, you understand it more deeply. If you haven't, I encourage you to go and take Kabbalah 1 to understand more deeply why we're here, how to live into that life that is our mission, to have peace, harmony, joy all the time. Collectively, as we knew we had to pull a curtain to make the endless world disappear from our point of view, we also understood that there might be, by plunging ourselves in this physical 5-sense illusion, that we might forget what we experienced in the endless world, what we actually are from the endless world, and what our mission, our objective to be in this world is. So what did we do? We set up a safety device. One of them, just let me tell you a quick story, because it reminds me of the forgetting. So one of the teachers in the center years and years ago had a 3-year-old, or almost a 3-year-old child, and it just had a baby, a couple months old. And the 3-year-old asked the mother to have some time alone with the baby. So of course, the mother said yes, because she understood what we're learning here in the center. But, she went out and left the door open to watch what was going on. And the 3-year-old looks at the baby and says, "Please remind me of heaven, because I'm forgetting." So every one of us came into this world with the internal soul memory of everything we experienced in the endless world. This is why along the way we can have flashes of things of that endless world. So anyway, what did we do to protect ourselves and ensure that we would achieve our goal? One thing was very simple. We took all the understanding of the endless world, all the system, the spiritual technology of how the universe spiritually and in this physical world operates, and the tools that would help us achieve our mission of acting like the Creator 24/7, unconditionally loving every other person on earth. And we put that power, the power of the light force of the endless itself, and the wisdom into what we call the Zohar, the books of the Zohar, like this. And I hope most of you who are watching have at least a sacred Zohar at your home, if not the set of Zohar, to learn, to empower yourself, and to study from. So that was one thing we did. So we would be able, if we forgot, to go back and reference What's the spiritual laws of the universe? What was the endless world? What did it entail? How did we come into being? And what is our objective in this world? The second thing we did, we set up what I want to call today our quality assurance officer. We set up a programming that would ultimately allow us, remind us, and support us in fulfilling our mission in this world, to make that copy of heaven, but on earth. So that's why it's called heaven on earth, or as we might call it, paradise or the Garden of Eden. So those two things, we put the wisdom and the power to achieve our goal in the Zohar, which is why every human being on earth is capable, able, and has the right to have access to the Zohar, the books of the Zohar. And we created that quality assurance officer to help support us. Now, if you think about, because I want to get into this idea of the quality assurance officer, because we're here, remember, to transform from potential to actual, from being simply a vessel, a receiver of the light of the Creator, to being the manifestor of the light of the Creator. So the quality assurance officer is to help us remember and fulfill why we're here. And as I was thinking of this in the last few days, the vision came to me of a paint by numbers. You go to the store, you buy a paint by numbers set. You see a very beautiful picture on the front of the box. You open the box, and now you have a canvas that has an outline of that beautiful picture. And you have all the paints that will allow you to paint that very same picture. And in the outline, there are spaces that are numbered, but they're blank. So you see the actual picture on the box. You see the potential by having the framework, the outline on the canvas. And then it's our job to take paint and put it in the right numbered spot, so we will duplicate that picture. If you're feeling this idea, it's the same thing metaphorically that we're here in this world to do. We're here with an outline. There is a world. That's why we had to come into this world in the Garden of Eden, but then we had to, if you will, spiritually paint this world to make it fully manifest. Because as the Bible calls it, Adam and Eve, you and I in the Garden of Eden, it's like seeing the canvas with the outline. And now our work is to take the light of the Creator from within us, and if you will, paint our world with the colors of love and kindness and forgiveness and tolerance and joy and generosity and humility and security and certainty and gratitude. That's our work. Paint by numbers, fill in the space. Now, along the way, if we forget, if we're not doing, if we're not aware, because plunging ourselves in this world, the five senses offered us the ability, as we call it, of illusion. Like a magician or an illusionist makes our five senses believe we see something that that's not really there, or not really seeing it. Simple terms, go online and look for optical illusions, meaning illusions that are fooling our five senses. So we all collectively created this quality assurance officer, which is what? As we've called it over the time that you've been watching Spiritual Sunday, or that which you've learned in the Kabbalah Center classes, the opponent. We call it an opponent, an adversary, a challenger. But today I'd like us to really see it in its true form. It's our quality assurance officer. It's implanted in our head. It is not the real us. It is an addition, like a programming that we make use of in order to fill in all the empty spots in our life. So the truth is that this opponent is not in our lives to create chaos. It's not in our lives to taunt us and destroy us and put us down. The truth is that even though we call it the opponent, our ability and what we're supposed to do with it is allow it to point out where we are not shining our light, where we are not manifesting more of our potential to have eternal bliss, happiness, prosperity, love, health, joy, peace, harmony, through all the things in this world. So we said before, our objective in this world is not to have families, friends, cars, jobs, houses, vacations, all of that. No. Those things are meant to be the means by which we can paint our world with the light of the Creator in all of its forms. The quality assurance officer in our head is there to point out where we are not filling our life with the light of the Creator, and therefore where we are missing out on eternal, lasting blessings. Because I'm sure many of you, most of you, are familiar with the idea of instant gratification, but that's just short-term fulfillment. When a person behaves in a reactive way, lets out the steam of their anger, their jealousy, their ego, their resentment, their guilt, their shame, there's an instant gratification, but it's short-lived. The Creator filled us collectively with the light that enables us to be able to shine that light for eternal blessings, not temporary, for long-term fulfillment and gratification, not just short-term. Real blessings, health, peace, prosperity, love, vitality. How does the quality assurance officer work? So if you remember, in our past, even probably in the last few days, when we look at our lives objectively, we have acted in a receiving manner. All those reactive behaviors, anger, resentment, hurt, etc. That creates, if you will, a spiritual wound that the light inside of us can heal by expressing that light. So this adversary, this quality assurance officer, just like it would be in a business, if you create a product, if you're part of a business that makes a product, you have ideally somebody who checks the quality of that product before you put it out there for sale on the market. Because you want people to know that you're putting out the best quality product possible. So you have somebody who will point out whatever mistakes may have been made in the building or the creating process of that product, so that if there's a mistake, it can be repaired or fixed, or that particular item doesn't go out for sale, because you want to make sure only the best goes out there. So what about the product that the Creator created? A pure and perfect being of light. That's the product we want to put out into the world. So we, as I mentioned, we created, knowing that we might forget, or by falling into this illusion, the choice of the 5 sense instant gratification or the 6th sense, the true endless light realm. We have that choice. We knew we'd probably make some mistakes along the way. So this quality assurance officer, that's that opponent in our head, the voice that's pointing out how we are not behaving like the light, It, in essence, has to touch that spiritual wound. If we behaved with anger, we have to fix the anger. We can't just keep repeating angry behavior, fearful behavior, insecure behavior, because that just creates more and more spiritual debt or a bigger spiritual wound that has to be healed. So we learn in the Kabbalah Center, therefore, everything, everyone, every situation that comes into our life is an opportunity to paint our world with more of the light of the Creator. How to share more. The next level, exerting ourselves till we are fully manifesting the 100% light that the Creator put inside of us. Stop for a minute and think. Think of the good times in your life. Think of the good things in your life now. How much you enjoy them, how much you appreciate them, how grateful you are for them. And imagine being able to intensify that 1,000 times. Also, though, imagine the parts of your life where you have discord, where you have anxiety, where you have just spiritual darkness. It's not making you happy. It's not bringing you joy and peace. It's not bringing you blessings. And now imagine that it's in your hands to be able to remove the darkness and make that part of your life more and more like the other parts you were just thinking about, the parts that are joyful, the parts that you appreciate, the parts that you have gratitude, the part that makes you feel good, the part that you enjoy interactions with people, and that true sense of inner peace. That's what you and I are learning in the center here. This is what we talk about every spiritual Sunday. How we can do more and more of that. Go back to the paint by numbers. When you wake up and realize that you've only painted half the spaces, and you can see the half that are just outlines but empty, now you have the motivation because you remember the picture that's on the front of the box. You remember the 100%. You start remembering more and more, feeling more and more your potential to have complete and absolute joy, happiness, bliss, total, lasting fulfillment. So this quality assurance officer is there. Yes, it has to point out where those empty boxes are, those empty spaces, so we can paint them in with the light. And it's going to be a little painful, but I want to also remind us, or reawaken in us, or if you haven't heard this before, give you a new awareness. What is pain? We all have various aspects of pain in our life, I'm sure right now. But I want you to be conscious and aware and come to the heart-centered feeling. Pain is not just pain. Pain is that feeling of discomfort when we think we cannot fix a situation, when it didn't go our way, when we can't have what we want, which ultimately behind that is that Garden of Eden, that heaven on earth. So when a person feels that they don't have the ability or a situation can't be fixed, that's when we feel pain. If we could see instantaneously the moment there was a defect, there was a difficulty, there was a challenge, if we could see instantaneously the solution to it and see clearly how we have the ability of fixing, repairing, and healing that situation, we wouldn't have the pain. We would just pick it up. We would just clean it. we would just heal it. Therefore also, when we think of chaos, chaos is not all bad all the time. Chaos is not all good all the time. Chaos is when we perceive the ups and downs, good, bad, bad, good, light, darkness, happy, unhappy, and on and on. When we can't see that there's a pattern, and therefore, when we don't believe there's a solution to a challenge, that's when pain comes in. But there is no such thing as chaos. You and I know in truth, chaos is really disarray. Almost go back to our paint by numbers. It's not chaotic when you paint a few of the boxes with different colors and you don't see the complete picture. It's just you have to keep painting. If you've ever played, those games where you mix up the letters, or you see in the newspapers where there's those scrambled words and your job is to put them back in order. We wouldn't say it's chaos, it's disarray. And it does bring pain or discomfort. For me, my best example is a Rubik's Cube. Give me a Rubik's Cube. We all know when you buy it off the shelf, it's perfect, right? Each side is full of that one color. Now you mix it up. And the fun of it for most people is turning it back into its perfect origin. Each side is all one color. For me, once you mix it up, I have the appearance of chaos and I have a sense of pain because I can keep twisting and twisting and turning and twisting and looking and twisting and turning and on and on. I don't know how to put it back in order. My kids do. I know other people who can. I've seen people do it in a matter of seconds. So intellectually, I know there is a solution. But in practicality, twisting it and turning it, for me, it's that sense of chaos. And that's what I share with you. Whatever part of your world right now you think is painful and chaotic, meaning that you see the disarray, but you've come to believe that it's impossible to put it in any order, to have good light and blessings from it, that's when pain wakes up. Because really what's pain? Pain is that motivator that pushes us to find a solution. The longer a person holds on to the belief, the false belief, that there is no solution to any challenge in their life, the longer they will have pain, and the stronger, unfortunately, that pain will become. Because remember, we started perfect. Our mission as we came out of the endless world into this world is to manifest, to create a heaven on earth. And in heaven on earth, in the Garden of Eden, there is no pain, there is no discord, there is nothing but bliss. And therefore, we also set up that system that's called discomfort, which can turn into pain, and unfortunately, but heaven forbid, can turn into extreme pain to wake us up and motivate us to do what's ever necessary to find a solution, a cure, to heal that situation, to turn chaos back to order, to turn darkness to light. And so you and I are learning in the center how to speed up the process by, as we said, using the Zohar for its wisdom and its technology and understanding, and for the power that it has because it channels the endless light to awaken the light of the Creator inside of us, which is then, one, the inspiration, clarity, and guidance, how to unscramble the disarray and bring it back into the order that it's supposed to be, and therefore manifest for us the blessings that it's meant to give us. So you think in your life, what's currently your Rubik's Cube? What part of your life do you feel it's impossible to cure? And let's just take it another level, because sometimes we'll say, yes, I can fix my life. But what about everyone else out there that's creating chaos in the world, which also comes back to impact us? How are we going to cure that? And this is where I remind us, and will keep reminding us. We are on a spiritual internet. Every person from the heart and soul is interconnected with every other person on earth, heart and soul. And therefore, when we are conscious and using actively, as we call it, proactive and preemptively, the tools, the wisdom, and the support we have here in the Kabbalah Center and the power of the Zohar, we can speed up the process, because we get in there. It's as if, let's say, I'm there with the Rubik's Cube, and because we're on the spiritual internet, you're feeling my pain of not being able to twist it back and put it back in order. So what do? Analogously, metaphorically, as I'm going to talk to you in a second here about the things we can do, how to do, but the doing, what I do individually, with the consciousness of beaming that out through my spiritual internet to 8 billion extensions of me, I'll be doing the Rubik's Cube. You'll be extending the light because you know the solution, you know the system. You will therefore be awakening in me, if you will, in my brain, the technology, the system, that those of you who know how to do a Rubik's Cube, you'll be injecting that and awakening that in my brain, because every one of us have the ability that suddenly I'll have the awareness, the inspiration, the clarity, and the guidance. Twist this way, that way, this way, like this, and this, and this. And the next thing you know, I'll have that perfect Rubik's Cube. In life, what does it mean? So I want to point out like this. The Zohar teaches us that we can and we are supposed to use the opponent that on one hand, in one aspect of the illusion, seems to be challenging us. Because the voice in our head does say, scream again at them. Be fearful again at them. Be sad at this situation. Have jealousy, have envy, have lack, greed, ego. It seems to be opposing our achieving heaven on earth. No, you and I are understanding today, as the Zohar says, our job is to turn the negative voice in our head, the opponent, into our advocate, into our support system. How do we do that? So let me just give you a story that shows the possibility. So back in the times of the Baal Shem Tov, back in the 1700s, it was common for righteous people, holy people, to travel around and, to visit cities, visit communities or whatever. And as part of that event, the holy person, the true Kabbalist, would come, would give classes, lessons to awaken the heart and soul of people. The real Kabbalists, as today, are not just giving intellectual information. Let me teach you how the rules of the universe, and let me teach you what's the right thing to do. No, a true Kabbalist would awaken the light inside people through their words. Because remember, we said in the beginning, everything in this world is a means to express the light of the Creator. So holy words, words filled with the light of the Creator, that would go from the heart and soul of this Kabbalist to the heart and soul of every person listening, and could awaken the consciousness in every person that they are also a pure and perfect being of light, that they have been implanted in them a piece of the Creator. And they can perceive then the perfection they're supposed to have. And then, of course, along with this would come various healings. People who needed physical healing, people who needed mental or emotional healing, people who needed a healing that would bring them prosperity or finding the right person to be in a relationship with, things like that. So, of course, those of you who have taken the classes, to hold on to our blessings, we must give in exchange. And so, as these Kabbalists would travel around one-on-one meetings with people to awaken healing or whatever they particularly needed, or giving the classes, people would give them charity. So there were a group of con men, let's call it, who, yes, they're making their living by conning people, cheating people out of money in various ways. But along their travels, they also saw that there were these holy people, the Kabbalists, who would go in and give blessings to people and give classes or whatever it was, and people would give them money. So this group of con men, they got this great idea. The head con man, he would portray himself as this wise, righteous person. And all the others who were in his group, they would be like the entourage. So they would go out into a community and say, oh, this holy, righteous person is coming to your town. Prepare those who want to meet with him or whatever, whatever. And so they would go around, and they went around for a while, sort of fooling people. So, people would meet with them, and they'd meet, the righteous man, the head con, and he would talk to them or give them a blessing or whatever it was, and then they'd collect the money and they'd go off. Right? What would happen? They go and basically lie, cheat, and steal in one town, and then they go to another town. There are always many towns to go to. So even if the word came back that, yes, it was not real, okay, gets to the next town, they go on, they had the whole country, or their whole countryside to go around and cheat people. But they came to this one situation where they went into a town, and this father asked for a meeting with the righteous person and brought him to his house and brought him to his daughter's room. And his daughter was very sick. And he begged this righteous man, the one playing the righteous man, to heal his daughter. And so he left this man in the room with the daughter, and he was in there for hours and hours. And of course, the entourage, these other thieves, they're wondering, what's he doing in there? What's he doing in there? What's he doing in there? And he finally came out, and the daughter was healed. And of course, the father, very happy, ecstatic, and gave them a nice donation, and they left. And as they're leaving, they're walking away, of course, the entourage looking at the one man. He says, what happened? What went on? Why were you there so long? And he says, even he, the thief, the scoundrel, when he was in that room with that daughter, he could feel the pain that the father felt for his daughter's sickness. And he was in the room so long because he was begging the Creator, confessing. He knows he's not a righteous man. He knows he's just a thief, stealing from people. But he was begging. As the writings say, with a broken heart. He was begging the Creator to heal this girl because he had the awakening to feel the pain not only of the girl, but of the father and the people around her, and therefore brought the healing. So it doesn't matter what the situation is in your life, whatever you're going through. When you can break the walls of your anger, fear, whatever, and let me give you a way to make use of your opponent, this quality assurance officer. And I guess that's really what it is. What I'm sharing with you today is how to transform your opponent, the adversary, the challenger, that negative voice in your head, how you can transform it, as the Zohar says we're supposed to do. Turn it into your quality assurance officer. Let it point out where you've been receiving and not sharing. And this, some ways you can do it. So when you feel the opponent or your quality assurance officer now, when you feel that wound of jealousy, meaning something's triggering that emotion of jealousy that you've behaved with previously, pause, as we call it, stop for a moment and draw up the light from within you, the light of the Creator, the light of God that's in your heart and soul. Let it come up, draw on it. Allow yourself to think, aha, my quality assurance officer is pointing out that I have jealousy against that person. That's the empty space in my paint by number. That's the darkness in my life. And as I bring the light up, I am now going to shine the light of an action of gratitude, an emanation of the light of gratitude. I'm going to fill in that dark spot and thereby transforming jealousy, the receiving aspect, into gratitude, the sharing aspect. When it's awakening inside, when there's that trigger from a challenge that's awakening a sense of insecurity because you've previously behaved with insecurity, pause, and you're waking up the light inside you. Could be scanning the Zohar and asking, opening your heart and soul to let the light inspire you to see the abilities you have, the talents you have, and therefore sharing the light through actions of trusting in those God-given abilities and talents to fill that dark spot of insecurity with light and blessings of security. When there's a trigger for the feeling of resentment, pause, scan your Zohar, ask the Creator, open your heart and soul, and then use that light to do actions towards that person, because that's what your quality assurance officer is saying. Through that person came the awareness of your dark spot, where you are allowing chaos and difficulty to remain. Now go paint it with the light. So now do actions of compassion, tolerance, kindness. Where there's a trigger, especially in these last few years, a lot of people being triggered in many different ways, but also with a sense of lack. People who lost their job, people who, feel they don't have enough. So it's a sense of lack, or even for some people, a sense of greed. I have to take more. I have to have more. I need more money. It's got to be more, more, more. No. Pause. That's also a spiritual wound. The Creator has given us everything. So then as you're scanning, begging the Creator, awakening the light of prosperity and abundance, do the action of giving more charity, being more generous. Fill that empty spot of lack and limitation with light of abundance and prosperity. And of course, the bottom line, when there's awakened the feeling of hatred towards other people, which sadly has been more intense in these last few years than ever in my lifetime and in many lifetimes that I've seen in the past. Pause. Open your heart. Break the shells, the prison walls that cover your heart, and make yourself hard-hearted, cold-hearted, where that hatred can come in. Break those shells. Feel inside you the unconditional love of the light of the Creator. Realize that is the ultimate paint to remove all the darkness and to reveal the heaven on earth that is not only yours to live in, but as you're now sharing the light of love and forgiveness and tolerance and compassion in the place of the hatred, you remove the veils of darkness and you see that you've always been in the Garden of Eden, just not realizing it. So the more we share our light where we haven't been sharing, where we let the light become the manifestation and manifest the highest versions of ourselves, that one that the Creator created, then we're putting out the perfect product. Remind yourself, remember, no matter who you are and where you are in life, you are much more powerful than you believe you are. Remember, the endless world, God the Creator, gave us the power to heal, to bless, to restore, if you will, to copy heaven in the upper worlds, in this world, that we now, in 2022, coming to 2023, we have the ability to heal, to bless, to restore the world to the Garden of Eden. We have the power, we have the consciousness, we have the abilities of transcending the physical world, transcending all the illusion of chaos, to overcome the opposition of the opponent, the temptation to continue to act in a receiving, reactive way, and therefore turning more things into disarray. But we have the ability of using our opponent as our quality assurance officer, that we can live a more happy, peaceful, and totally fulfilling life. We just have to decide to motivate ourselves to awaken more of the power within us by making the decision, because everything is consciousness and consciousness is desire. So wake up and decide that your desire is for your peace of heaven on earth, that your desire is for blessings, joy, happiness, prosperity, love, health, all the infinite good the Creator gave us. Decide that the value of that is worth more than whatever you may think you're getting from the fear, the jealousy, the anger, the ego. And once you awaken a greater value in your own mind, in your heart and soul, that the blessings of the light are more valuable than any temporary comfort you felt in the darkness. Once you arrive at that level, you will automatically decide more and more. Pause when you're triggered. Extend the light from your heart and soul. Love, kindness, generosity, compassion, tolerance, humility. Because as you do that, more of that perfect self awakens, more of those truly satisfying, blissful blessings show up in your life. And the more rapidly we draw all the other 8 billion parts of our soul back into the Garden of Eden, where we can live with peace and love and harmony and joy as we are meant to, as we are coming to. We are on the verge. It's you and I making that commitment, that decision, The light more valuable than the chaos. Blessings more valuable than the curses. Light and love more valuable than darkness and hatred. God bless. So in this case, it's only virtual, but one, I want to thank you for all your support, your continued contributions. And there's two ways that you can give back to the center. And you can give back for, let me just put it here online, in support and appreciation of what we do here on Spiritual Sunday and the Kabbalah Center in general. One, take this video, it will be on this website, and just share it. Just put it out there into cyberspace. Let other people have access to it. Wake up their soul. And remember, as you're sharing it, put in the consciousness, because actions, words, and thoughts are just vessels. So as you push the button to share this video, infuse that action with love, with the desire to bring the end of pain, suffering, and death by awakening the light in each human being, and that you'll awaken their desire that they'll come and study. And they'll learn more and more of the details as you and I have learned, so they'll be able to live their life in a way that will remove more and more of their pain and suffering, more of the darkness, and replace it with peace and harmony and joy like you and I have. And also speed up their process by realizing where their wounds are and how they'll make the effort to be able to heal it and bring themselves back to that pure and perfect self. And of course, the other part is donating. Yes, we do live in the physical world. We have bills to pay, but not only just to maintain the center, but to finish the mission of the center. We need your support to bring more people through scholarships to learn, and more support to literally spread the books of the Zohar in all its forms around the world. The ultimate mission is spread Zohar to every house on earth until there's a critical mass of light that's revealed through those Zohars that removes completely the clouds of darkness. Then everybody will see clearly. As I just heard my teacher, the Rav, may he rest, well, he doesn't rest in peace. He and Karen doing a lot of work, but may he be blessed. And the two of them helping us to speed up our process even more. But as the Rav said, if a person could see tomorrow, would they have any discord, pain, suffering, lack, anxiety today? No. Because as people would say, they'd know where to invest their money because they'd be able to see tomorrow that company's going up. They would know that the actions of negativity that they were about to do would come back on them and create more intense chaos. But the actions of love, kindness, and compassion, generosity, humility, tolerance, and forgiveness will also come back on them 1,000 times more. Then everybody will behave as a pure, perfect being of light. And so let's just take a moment, and I did put it there online. So please go to the site, whatever you can give. Give from your heart, whatever your heart tells you to give. But please, each of you who are watching, give something just to show that you appreciate what you're getting here from Spiritual Sunday and from the center in general. And I'm sure many of you are supporters already of the center. So if you gain something today through Spiritual Sunday, give on the Spiritual Sunday website. But let's just take a moment, close your eyes, just to awaken a greater consciousness of gratitude and appreciation for all that the Creator has given you. Fundamentally, have gratitude for the light that the Creator implanted in your soul, which is the only thing that allows each of us to live, to think, to do, to breathe, to operate in this world. And from that fundamental truth, to see clearly with the eyes of our heart, that everything we have in life, everything that brings us joy and happiness, family, friends, everything that you have, the money, the cars, the house, whatever it may be, all comes from the Creator's light. Our job to be a conduit. And with that awareness, to commit ourselves, to share back, to pay it forward, empowering our donation to Spiritual Sunday, to the Kabbalah Center, with unconditional love. And with a greater awareness today, every human being on earth is a part of me, ourself, and therefore, with joy and happiness, sharing this light and this love with 8 billion parts of ourself. And knowing that as we share to spread this wisdom and the Zohar, those blessings return to us hundreds of times over. Together we say, Amen. And so let's just do, I know it's a little longer than usual, but let's do this. Hey, hey, Ein, those of you who are new, this is what's called the name of God. It's constructed of, as you see, Hebrew or Aramaic letters, but the Kabbalists teach us, as do many, many spiritual wisdoms out there, that the Hebrew letters are the DNA of our soul. They are particles of the light of the Creator. And so in this combination that we learn from the Zohar and the great Kabbalists, awakens unconditional love. So just let your eyes see these 3 energy forces, Hey, Hey, Ein. That's all you need. 1, knowing that light channels through them, and 2, see the shape, remember the names, Hey, Hey, Ein. And now if I can ask you, close your eyes. Put your hands comfortably in your lap, feet flat on the floor. Take a few deep breaths, breathing in through the nose. Hold the breath for a moment. Exhale through the mouth. Relaxing into the light of the Creator. That you've awakened a new level of, a higher intensity. And also the infinite light of the Creator that surrounds us. Just allow yourself to feel the love and the warmth of this light. Just letting go, relaxing. Focus on being a pure channel, conduit of this light. Envision above your head this name of God, Hey, Hey, Ein. This name that channels from the upper worlds the light of unconditional love. If you can see and or feel the letters shining, their light, radiating with this intensity of pure unconditional love. And now let this energy force enter through the top of your head. See the darkness dissipating illumination taking its place, thoughts of greater love, compassion, kindness towards all. Let the Hey Hey Ein and its light travel further and further through your body, illuminating every spiritual and physical cell of your being. See the light growing brighter, the darkness, the negativity disappearing into the light. Feel the vibration of unconditional love traveling through you. Let's focus together now on our hearts. Fill your heart with the Hey Hey Ein. Let it awaken that infinite, unconditional love that the Creator has for you. Feel it. Let that love that is your true nature break down whatever walls and barriers they may be of hurt, resentment, animosity, even that wall of having had your heart broken by someone somewhere. Take down those walls with trust and certainty that the light, the Creator's unconditional love, as it shines out from you more and more, is protection from all chaos, darkness, hurt. Allows the love that you feel inside you, that you have a desire for, let it shine out. Knowing the light is bringing you your perfect relationships, one-on-one, friends, business, associates, neighbors, even strangers, that will awaken a new aspect of sharing and love, that pure love for humanity. And let a beam of light of the Hey Hey Ein extend out to every body on earth, reaching into their heart, their soul. Breaking down their walls, awakening their God-given unconditional love. See people happier, this awakening. See their sadness turn to joy, their hatred to love, their resentment to compassion, tolerance, and forgiveness. Lets you and I awaken this pure light in us and in them, in every person on earth, so that you and I and everyone sees in the eyes, through the eyes of their heart, the oneness of humanity. And feels not only love for each other, that true unconditional godlike love, but let's also see heaven on earth. See in your mind's eyes that which is, which we created in the beginning, so we could always have a vision of, a memory of, and a sense of the perfection that's available to us. And is the Hey Hey Ein vibrating, pulsing inside our heart and soul? Commit yourself to move upwards, to extend yourself, exert yourself to share your light, to listen to your quality assurance officer that's pointing out where your darkness has been, and now paint all those areas with the shining bright light of the Creator and unconditional love, that you see more clearly, feel more powerfully your peace, your life in the Garden of Eden that is heaven on earth. Together we take one more deep breath, anchoring this thought, this vision, this feeling into our being forever. Strength, motivation, enthusiasm to make it happen now. Taking one more deep breath. And as you exhale, slowly opening your eyes. Thank you all for joining. Please go back on this page, share this video. Let's make it happen. This is the year that it can. It's the year of the expiration, termination of all the pain, suffering, and death by deciding that our animosity, hurt, jealousy, greed, ego has also expired. That only the light will channel through us. God bless. Have a great week. Please, if you'd like to have a one-on-one mentoring session, those are available. Facebook Messenger me, reach out to me. I'm happy to arrange those with you. And share with me your miracles and your transformation. So it's something I can share with others that will inspire them and let them also be aware of the thousands and tens of thousands of miracles taking place through the use of this wisdom and these tools and the teachings that come out of the Kabbalah Center. God bless. See you next week.
Thank you for joining us. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to this channel that you'll be notified when we post new videos. Share the video with your friends, they can also benefit. And check out the website, www.kabbalah.com, that's Kabbalah, for hundreds of articles and classes. Wish you an amazing day, and God bless.